Today I'm leaving Xi'an and officially heading west for the first time on this trip, which means I'm officially going to be traveling along the ancient Silk Road as of today. The Silk Road is about 1900 years old. Traders and merchants have been using it for centuries up until the advent of trading routes by sea and by air, so it's a pretty significant place to be. And this here is going to be the beginning of it. So the town I'm going to is called Lanzhou. It's in the Gansu province. It's the capital of the province as well. It used to be one of the most polluted cities in all of China, and they call it the Golden City. I'm not sure why, but they do. Just know that they do. So yeah, we go get the train from over there. Train ticket cost me 93 kuei, which is about $18-19 Australian, and it's an 8-hour hard seater train again. So none of this luxurious high-speed sleeper trains for me. It's the cheapest and the dirtiest and the most local.
有去往乌鲁木齐方向，乘坐直231班铁。
Hello. Wave. Hello. I've just arrived in Lanzhou and just walking around the street trying to find the hostel I've booked. It's not a very popular place for tourists, this city, so I made sure that I found a hostel which had reviews from foreigners, because I know a lot of hostels actually don't accept.
Hello, hello,
hello.
你好，
你好。
去哪里嘛？嘿嘿嘿嘿，去什么地方？
I'm okay. You know, a lot of the local hostels don't accept foreigners, so hopefully don't have any issues with the one that I booked. I think it should be fine though. So I'm having a bit of difficulty trying to find the hostel. I think I've found the sign just there that corresponds with the Chinese characters on my booking. Apparently I've got to take 2 elevators to get to the top. And I tried to call, but the phone was just ringing out, so I'm going to walk up this dark alley, take the elevators and see how that goes.
No, this bicycle have 12 years.
12 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
and buy in Spain.
That guy that I just met then has been riding his bike all the way from Spain through to China, and is riding towards Beijing now. So he's been all through Central Asia. It's taken him 7 months to get to Lanzhou. It's just interesting that the different kind of travellers that you meet as you cross into this part of the world, as opposed to the rainbows and lollipops of Southeast Asia. These guys are real hardcore travellers, and they've been doing big overland expeditions for months and months and months on end. Just to give you an example of how hard that style of travel is compared to what I'm doing, I got on a train yesterday from Xi'an to Lanzhou very comfortably, and it took 8 hours. That Argentinian guy that I just met then is going to be riding his bike for 5 days and camping on the side of the road to travel the same distance that I did. Absolutely hardcore. It was also interesting hearing him talking about Xinjiang province. He said that the checkpoints there are just ridiculous. Like, he would get stopped every couple of hours or something to get checked by the police. I don't think I'm going to have the same problems because I'm going to be on trains. But yeah, it just goes to show that that part of China is under a lot more scrutiny than the rest at the moment. So yeah, it's going to be interesting crossing into that area in the next sort of week or so. This is my dorm room in Lanzhou. Again, I've got the nice, thick, luxurious Chinese mattress. That's the size of it there. And that is rock hard. May as well be sleeping on a concrete slab. You wake up in the morning and your back is just absolutely screwed. Now, I wouldn't say that Lanzhou is the most scenic city I've been to in China. There's not much really on the tourist itinerary to see, but it's an interesting place because it's been the first city I've been in where actually starting to really see the influence of the Silk Road, in particular just the changes in people's appearances. You can see people's faces changing. Obviously there's a lot more ethnic minorities as you go further west in China. I heard the call to prayer last night, which is the first time I've heard that since Malaysia. So, oh, he's not happy. He's not happy. Starting to see the Muslim influence come in, which is obviously a direct result of the linkage between China and the Muslim world by the Silk Road. So it's interesting in that regard. I've only got a day here, which I think is enough, and I've already got my ticket booked tomorrow to Zhangye, which is a bit further west. I think it's another 8 hours on the train. That ticket cost me 75 kuei, which is, you know, cheap for that distance. 75 equals about $15 Australian, so I can't really argue with that. That behind me there is the Yellow River, which is not only China but Asia's second largest river after the Yangtze. It starts in the Qinghai province, runs through Lanzhou and empties into the Pacific Ocean. This is actually my first glimpse of it. One thing this city is famous for is its Lanzhou noodles. Apparently they're a massive deal in China. People eat them for breakfast, lunch, dinner. I had some for breakfast this morning. Another consequence of the Silk Road is that the Lanzhou noodles were apparently the inspiration for the Italian spaghetti. I haven't done my research on that. It's just hearsay, but yeah, it's kind of believable. So there you go. If it wasn't for China, we wouldn't have pasta, we wouldn't have hamburgers. So thank you, China. Good on you.
这上好像没树，你看一点树，不种树。
不种树，这啥都是，干啥都没有。
看见周围，这要不要筛选一下？
I'm in Zhangye. I just got the train here. It took about 6 hours on the train, and just walking around town trying to find the hostel. This is the reality of my situation. My portable charger won't charge my phone anymore, so I need to use my laptop to charge it in order to email the hostel to ask them for instructions on how to get to the entrance of the hostel. I'm at the location of the hostel on the map, but I think apparently that's wrong, which was the same as the last town I was in. I tried to call them on Viber, but they don't speak English, and so I've just emailed them, and my instructions are to go find the Marco Polo statue, and it's an ancient building which is near the statue apparently. It's the simplest little things like this which just is so frustrating in China. Like trying to find the entrance to a hostel. I don't understand why it has to be so hard. I managed to find the hostel thanks to this good looking guy behind me. But there's Marco Polo. Do you sort of see the resemblance there, or?
稍微重的羊肉我也吃不惯，如果
好好的做的应该没问题。
是，我之前吃过没有骚味的，我很喜欢吃。
羊肉就好吃了。羊肉就是吃那股羊味嘛。没那羊味你吃啥味都不因为就跟广东人吃那个生炒肥肠一样。对。你就吃那个臭味嘛，对不对
Just getting a video of our delicious meal here tonight.
Yeah, you making video?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's right. Oh yeah, look at that. I think this is the biggest meal I've had in China. But there's more. I'm now heading further west into Gansu province to a town called Jiayuguan. I'm getting the fast train there. There's a ticket. That costs 65 kuei, so that's 13 Australian dollars. I think the fast is about 220 kilometres away. The fast train will take about an hour and a half, I'm told. It's about 8:30 in the morning at the moment, and the sun's just coming up. That's 8:30 Beijing time, but we're a long way away from Beijing. But all of China must use the Beijing time because that's the rule. So that's why the sun is rising at 8:30. I don't know how cold it is, but maybe you can see my breath. I'm not smoking, that's just how cold it is here. Today we're doing something pretty special. We're going to go see the Great Wall. And this is not the Great Wall in the rolling hills of Beijing, but the Great Wall where it actually begins in Jiayuguan. And it's special because there's part of it which is the original wall, the very, very first part of the wall, called the first post, which was built back in 200 AD. So, I mean, that makes it over 1800 years old. And that separated the boundary, the traditional boundary between China proper and the nomadic tribes in the frontiers to the west of China. Along with that, we're going to go see another section of the Great Wall, which is built in the 1500s, called the Overhanging Wall, which runs over top of the mountains. So that's what we're going to do today. This is really the introduction then to the rest of China and the Silk Road, where the nomadic tribes actually ruled the plain. Tell you what, my Australian blood is not used to this cold. I need to get some gloves. I think I need to get a scarf and another fleece. Otherwise, if it gets any colder than this, I'm not going to enjoy myself. Behind me is the Jiayuguan fort. So this is the part that was built in the 1500s. Apparently all the colours of all the bricks are chosen to sort of match the landscape so that the wall blended in. So it's a different colour to the Great Wall near Beijing, which is grey. Listen to that racket. Why is that necessary in a place like this? Looks like we've stumbled into some kind of movie set here. They're filming some recreation of something, either a movie or a documentary. So behind me is the section of the Great Wall called the Overhanging Wall. It's called that because apparently it looks like it overhangs the mountains, sort of like cantilevers over top. I don't really see it myself, and if you're wondering whether or not the wall continues past that point, it just stops. I'll show you. No more wall. That's it. Well, this is it. Behind me is the first beacon of the Great Wall. So this is actually where the Great Wall begins, or if you like, where it ends. But this is it. And just to correct myself from before, this was actually built in the 1500s. I read in the museum downstairs. So it's not much to look at now. I mean, it's kind of cool that it hasn't been restored, but it's essentially a mound of dirt. There's a little town here behind me as well. I can't tell whether or not that's a legitimate town or if it's been built for the tourists. Probably 90% sure it's the latter, but it's an odd little addition to the end of the wall. I don't really understand why it's there, but I'll go have a look anyway. These sculptures behind me are meant to depict a drunken brawl, apparently, of the soldiers. So I reckon this guy here looks like he's probably had a bit too much wine. He's sort of done. This guy here is just saying, "Fucking hurry up with that bottle." Because this guy here is just pouring it all into his own bowl. Meanwhile, we've got the elder here that looks like he was shaking his head, just going, "Why am I hanging out with these delinquents?" And then there's two over there. They're just chilling, playing some music. They're just having a chill night. Of course, you got the one square of the group that's just like, "Nah, sorry guys, I don't drink," and just sits there sharpening his sword all night like a loser. Let's get a photo.
你是外国人吧？
Yeah.
你会讲中国话吗？
Just another example of China failing at political correctness. Deformity toilet. Just passing by one of the local schools. What's interesting in China is that they make all the kids in the morning do exercise for an hour before class. Can you imagine that in any other country in the world? Australia, for example, the uproar. And they make him sweep the side path as well in the morning. Pushing further west today into the desert to a town called Dunhuang or Dunhuang. I'm not very good at pronouncing these Chinese city names, but it used to be famous as a oasis in the desert for the caravans going across the Silk Road. The ticket there has cost me 23 Kuei, which is $4.50. So that's by far the cheapest train ticket I've found in China so far. Just waiting now for the train. Getting closer to the border of Xinjiang. Been speaking to a lot of travellers been coming from that direction, saying that the police presence is pretty full on there at the moment, obviously because of the situation with the Uyghur minority. Haven't really seen much evidence of that in Gansu province yet, but as I get further west, I'm expecting that to change a little bit. See from all the dust in the carriage behind me, we're really in the heart of the desert now. The Gobi Desert, that is. I'm playing everyone's favourite Chinese travelling game. Try and find your hostel. So the first location in the local language was wrong. Tried to get the taxi driver to drop me off at the location on the map, but unless I give him the exact address in Chinese, he didn't understand it, even when I said, "That's cool, I'll just direct you." It all got too hard, so I'm walking about 3 kilometers with my gear to try and find this place. The location on maps.me looks like it's probably the right one, so fingers crossed. Well, apparently I'm here. What a lovely space. Yeah, no, this will do just fine. I wonder which Which dorm's mine? Maybe that one? Ah yes, very comfortable and secure. Perfect. Yeah, so as you can probably guess, couldn't find the hostel. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to head straight to the sand dunes. See if I can't find a hostel or a hotel even that accepts foreigners. Shut up! And if it's only hotels, I think I can justify treating myself to a couple of nights in a bit more luxury than usual after this horse shit. You have a problem? Little shit. At least when you're lost you make some new friends. Hello. Oh, fine. Be like that. Oh, what a pose. So I managed to find some accommodation about 200 meters down the road from the entrance to the sand dunes, which is right behind me there. Fortunately, I couldn't find any accommodation in the scenic area itself, which would have been great because it would have been nice to go camping in the dunes. But anyway, I forked out, found a hotel, and they were asking for 200 for a night, and I got them down to 170. So that's about 30 Australian dollars. Not ideal, but under the circumstances, there's not much I can do. Pretty good view though. So just think of the positives. It's about 7:30 in the morning, and I'm the only tourist in the park at this time, which is kind of really nice actually. So the big sand dunes behind me, the moon's up, there's nothing but me and all the Chinese music they insist on blasting out of the speakers everywhere you go. It kind of kills the serenity of it. As soon as you get away from one speaker, you run into another one and it's playing the same song. I'm going to go try and find a viewpoint on top of one of the sand dunes to try and catch the sunrise. Looks like it's about to happen now actually. Yeah, I made it to the top, and I'm the only one here, probably not for long. These are actually called the singing sand dunes because apparently when the wind is right they actually make a noise as if they're singing, but today all I can hear is tourists behind me, so yeah, no singing today. I forgot my bright orange shoes.
喂，唔跌嘅喂，哎呀，喂，做咩唔跌嘅？喂，俾我做得咁重。
Well, I'll show you the reason why everyone's wearing those orange sleeves on their shoes.